Our story today is called Ruby Makes It Even. Ruby, Millie squeezes my arm. We're here! At last, says Beth. We've been waiting all year for our school trip. Now we're finally here. Rainforest Fun Park, I whisper. Our bus rumbles to a stop. Millie, Beth, and I pile out, along with everyone else from Langston Elementary. The teachers began sorting us into groups. Oh no, my little brother Leroy lumbers toward me, swinging his arms like a trunk. Ruby, look, I'm an elephant, he says. Even worse, my bossy older sister Jo strides over. Ruby, be sure you... I know. I scurry off before she can finish. I don't need Jo's bossiness or Leroy's annoying jokes wrecking my day. I dodge them both and stick with my two best friends, Millie and Beth. The three of us troop into the park. I stop and stare up. And up. I've heard about it. I've seen ads. Now here it is, towering above us. Mongo scream, whispers Beth. As we watch, a raft loaded with riders swoops into the Congo River at the top of Mongo Mountain. It hurtles over rapids, spins around whirlpools, and vanishes into a dark cavern. For a few tense moments, shrieks and squeals echo from inside. I hold my breath. The raft shoots out the other side. It hangs in the air, then plummets down Mongo Waterfall and splashes into the lake below. It looks fun. It looks thrilling. I gulp. It looks scary. Let's go! Millie sets off for Mongo Scream. No, I cry before I stop myself. I mean, Locomotive Jungle is right here. Let's ride it first. Millie stops. We've been waiting to ride Mongo Scream all year. That was before I'd actually seen it. Let's vote, I say. Who wants to ride Locomotive Jungle? I quickly raise my hand. Millie crosses her arms over her chest. We turn to Beth. Slowly, she raises her hand. Let's save the best Mongo Scream for last. Good news, I have the whole day to work up my courage. Bad news, I have the whole day to worry about Mongo Scream. We scramble aboard Locomotive Jungle. Beth finds a bench up front. Millie slides in beside her. They try to scoot closer, but there isn't any more room. I crawl into the bench behind them. I tell myself it's great to have a seat to myself, but it's no fun being the odd kid out. 3 is an odd number. After Locomotive Jungle, we vote to ride the Python. This time I sit beside Beth. Millie sits behind us, by herself. It's no fun seeing your friends left out either. Good news, we keep voting and riding. Bad news, all the rides are made for even numbers. We take turns pairing up, but someone always has to ride alone. Plus, everywhere we go, Mongo Scream looms overhead. We're about to vote again when I spot Leroy and his friends, Carlos and Jamal. They're carrying armloads of snacks and snapping their jaws like crocodiles. Before Leroy can see me, I pull Millie and Beth into the Treehouse Arcade and run smack into Rob, a kid from my reading room. Where's your group? Millie asked him. Rob shrugs. Our group had 3, but the rides are for even numbers. I was the odd kid out. But now you're by yourself, says Beth. You're really odd kid out. Suddenly, I've got a brilliant idea. You're an odd number, 1, I tell Rob. We're an odd number, 3, but an odd plus an odd makes an even. Rob's eyes grow wide. And an even 4 means nobody's left out. The 4 of us set off. We ride jungle jalopies, swinging vine, and parrot plunge. The seats are 4 across, so nobody has to ride alone. Mongo's scream still looms overhead, but I'm having such a great time that it doesn't seem as scary. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. Come to think of it, I can hardly wait. All because of an even number. That settles it, I say. Evens are way better than odds. What should we ride next? Says Rob. I vote crocodile canoes, says Beth. Me too, I say. I vote Amazon Zing, says Millie. Rob nods. It has a shorter line. We look at each other. An even number is great, until you can't break a tie. We're trying to decide what to do when Leroy and his friends trudge up. They look a little green. We've been searching for you everywhere, moans Leroy. We don't feel so good, says Carlos. We ate a lot of snacks, says Jamal. Leroy can be annoying. Leroy makes awful jokes, but Leroy's my little brother. I have to take care of him, I say. Millie, Beth, and Rob agree. They vote for Leroy and his friends to join our group. Good news? An even plus an odd makes an odd. Now we have 7. We can break our tie. Bad news. Leroy, Carlos, and Jamal are too sick to ride anything fun. We end up on the Lazy Sloth, a boat that drifts around the lake below Mongo Scream. When the ride ends, I help Leroy and his friends off and run straight into Jo. She's with her friends Claire and Heather. Our teachers said we have time for one more ride before we load the buses, Jo tells us. Mongo Scream! Shout Millie, Rob, and Beth. Leroy, Carlos, and Jamal moan. I sigh. Go on without me. I'll get these guys to the bus. Jo frowns. And let your friends ride without you? You'll miss the best ride in the park. Jo gives Leroy a stern look. I know you feel sick, she says, but you need to start feeling better. You don't want to keep us off Mongo Scream. I blink. Us? Yes, us, says Jo. Claire, Heather, and I saved Mongo Scream for last. I won't go if you're stuck here. You're my little sister. I have to look out for you. So Jo and her friends join our group. They're an odd, and we're an odd, so we're even again. The hike up Mongo Mountain is just what Leroy and his friends need. Or maybe Joe's stern look does the trick. Either way, they're less green by the time we reach the top. We scramble aboard our raft. It seats an even number 10, which happens to be exactly the same number as our group. We strap in, and the raft swoops into the Congo River. We hurtle over rapids, spin around whirlpools, and plunge into a dark cavern. We shriek and squeal. Then we shoot out on the other side. The raft hangs in the air for a moment before we plummet down the Mongo waterfall and splash into the pool below. Good news, it's fun. It's thrilling. Better news, it's scary, but that just makes it more fun. Best news, nobody has to be odd kid out.